And I don't want what happened yesterday to happen again.
You mean?
Hey, everybody. Hi. You're just coming in the middle of the conversation here, as usual. But welcome to another episode of WKRP Montrose. Across, swilling his swill in the cup there, is Rob. And thankfully, probably to all of your requests, we decided to have a guest that could take the testosterone out of the room. Maybe, maybe not, because there were some stories going on off camera.
Yeah, and I don't know what she's going to be willing to say on camera, but we'll see.
She made you nervous already, Rob.
No.
Yeah, you're stuttering already.
You're
a buffoon.
Imbecile.
Is that what you were going to say?
Imbecile.
Okay. Hi, Brett.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I am top of the world.
Okay, so we'll get into the names here in just a second because you shared some other names that if you're comfortable sharing those other names. But pronounce your last name for me so I don't pronounce it incorrectly.
Huff.
Huff.
Yeah, as it's spelt.
The double F's, I know it's confusing.
But yeah, what were you thinking there? Like, oh, this is really hard to pronounce. This one, Huff.
You know what?
This is not a good start.
In his defense, he did get my first name right, though, which is saying a lot because most of the time people see it, and I've had teachers be like, Brooke.
Yeah, but
Close.
So you are not privy to this information, but we don't do defending Dennis on this podcast. We don't do that. Yeah. So in his defense is not a phrase we use here.
What we do. You're
full of
we do on the show is take every opportunity to, recognize Rob for all of his greatness.
Oh.
So feel free to compliment him in any way that you see necessary.
I mean, it's not
look, there was silence there.
It's not all about me.
Obviously.
I mean, it should be. Right. It's just you won't allow it.
Let's stop talking about you right now. How about that?
Yeah, let's talk about our guest.
Yeah. So, Wild Poppy Events is your company.
Yep.
Okay. So first, we started with names. Mm-hmm. Why Wild Poppy?
Dig deep.
Dig deep. Don't look at him. Okay. It's hard not to look at him and laugh.
If you want a real answer?
Yes. No, give me the fake one, please.
Oh, I'm so good at that.
All right,
I can bullshit anything you want to hear. The real answer is because poppies have always been assigned to me like things are in the right path. Like I'm going the right way. Like anytime I've been like, I need a sign, poppies show up. So
okay.
I just figured I'm like, you know what? Poppies are the best way
Poppies are the way to go. Mm-hmm. All right. That was quick. That was easy.
Yeah.
I was wondering if there were, poppy seeds, poppy. No? Okay.
Yeah, there's no opium involved leading to this name tag.
Well,
all right.
Because do you know Crystal from Soak?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I can just segue right into that, right? Mm-hmm. She's holding an event
that I'm teaching a yoga retreat at.
But what's the retreat?
Okay, so I would like to preface this. So it is a.
No,
and I always mispronounce this. So Crystal, I'm sorry. It's a mushroom retreat. So it's a plant medicine journey that a lot of people use for healing. I'm not personally doing it, but that is kind of what it's about.
Are you refusing to use the word that you mispronounced then?
Yes, I absolutely am.
You're not even going to try?
Ooh.
Come on, big.
But if you look on her page, you can see where I'm involved in it today.
Okay.
Come on, you can do it.
So it's at the...
Psychosilliman?
I can't say it. Rob, please say it for us.
Enlighten us.
Hey, I'm not going to say I know, but I think it's psilocybin.
Psilocybin. He's got it right.
I think.
We're going to go ahead and go with I think.
Yeah. It's so annoying when he's correct. You just wait for those opportunities for him to...
every time my dad does that, I make him put a quarter in a jar.
Oh.
Every time you correct me on something that's unnecessary to,
that
drop
wasn't.
it in there.
I didn't even want to do that.
Oh my!
I didn't want to do that. You two made me say it. And
if you start this, I get half of these.
Hey,
it's on record.
It's not my fault.
We're going to start that.
Perfect.
And I will give you half of all proceeds.
Thank you very much.
Okay. I don't correct people. You asked me to say it.
I have a button somewhere for that.
I don't have the ability that you two have to just willingly fuck stuff up. So
wow.
I feel like there's a lot of money coming my way in the future.
Do you know what? Actually, we've talked about having a jar here because Dennis.
Correct. Go ahead.
Regularly
Spit it out.
starts a sentence, trails off in the middle. Like,
Okay,
so often.
So that's okay. And
It's
some
not
of us
okay.
do that. Some of us don't have an option. Our brain works in different ways.
Okay, I see how this is going to go. All right. You two are kindred spirits then. Your brains don't work in the same way as
Listen, we're both 12.5 cents richer at this point in time, so keep it up.
I got a quarter now. I'll throw it at you.
Successful business person right there.
Well, let's talk about that.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
so Wild Poppy is very new.
Yes,
Right.
I started it last August, actually.
Right. And of course, where we are, this part of the country, pretty good location for wedding planners.
Yes, I was talking to a guy the other day who works with a lot of wedding planners because he does hotel blocks, and he's like, "Oh, I think I've got like 50, kind of in this area." And I'm not saying what that area is, but yeah, there's actually quite a few people around here that are into wedding planning because we have people come from across the whole country to get married out here. Because here's a fun fact. Colorado is the only self-solemnization state in the United States, which means you can marry yourself. You don't have to have an officiant. You don't have to have any witnesses. And your dog, unless you're in Arapahoe County, can stamp your marriage license.
But not a cat.
Well, your cat can too.
Oh.
They don't care. You could drive a tire over it and count it as good thing. But that is one of the reasons why a lot of people come out here is because they want their dog to sign their marriage license.
Damn, I might consider getting married again.
No, you won't.
Just so the cat can stamp the fucking document.
If you do, can I please plan your wedding?
Yeah.
I've already got a stamp pad for it.
All right.
You
Done.
listen, here's the thing. You just want somebody else to be liable for whatever the situation is. So you want Winston.
His name's Churchill, damn it.
Yeah, you want Winston to be the
I'm not going
to be the pad stamper.
The officiant.
So
is
you
the term.
can, when and if it wouldn't work out,
Well, I can blame the cat.
that's what I'm saying.
No, I would never do that.
You would totally do that.
The innocent cat. It's probably going to be the other person's fault.
Since we're talking about psilocybin, are you willing?
Hang on. What's going on? Did you just get that by accident?
No. Are you willing to tell the story that you told my family the other day about you trying to find your cat?
It's not psilocybin. What? I had taken an edible. And
legal here.
Yeah, I had taken an edible. This was several years ago. And there was a group of us laughing and being stupid because actually that stuff, when it works well, is really fun.
Yeah.
And my cat was around somewhere, I thought, and I saw him under a chair.
Yeah.
And I got on my hands and knees and I was trying to coax him out from underneath this chair or the sofa. I must have been for 20 or 30 minutes.
Because it wasn't your cat.
But eventually I reached in and grabbed him and it was a shoe.
So, walk me through how you think it's going to... Are people going to be on their journey in the yoga class?
No.
Okay.
So the yoga is
because I feel like that would be really exciting.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Don't dabble at all in any kind of mind altering anything.
Okay.
So I don't know anything about it.
No recreational extra activities for you. Fair enough.
It's a control issue is really what it boils down to. Anyways, but no, the yoga is we're going to do yoga, get balanced, get grounded, and then lead it in. So people have like that grounding connection before they go into
whatever their journey is.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. So Crystal was gonna. I've mentioned her name now a couple times, so I'm gonna throw her a hello. Crystal owns Soak here in town, but she also does these retreats, and it's going to be at Elk Mountain.
Yes, it is going to be Elk Mountain
Lodge.
If you want to buy tickets, you can do it through her website.
Okay.
When is it?
It is.
No. This is a. What did we just say? There's no time.
Well, no.
There's no dates
Time is
on
a
the
construct.
show. Yeah, time is a construct.
Yeah,
this is the Matrix.
Here it is. But
you're not Keanu, by the way.
Outside of that, in this, honestly, you know what? I'm not.
Right.
I'm Lawrence Fishburne.
Please.
All right.
If anybody's Lawrence Fishburne, it's me.
Oof, you're Tank or you're Tank.
Yeah, I could be Tank.
Tank is the guy that just pushes the fucking buttons
and keeps you all alive. You're very welcome.
and he gets killed. Outside of that door, there is a real world where events happen on dates and times.
Yeah.
So if we mention it,
I feel like our guest is feeling left out because you're looking over here.
Yeah,
I can understand you.
This is common. Is that him and I will just have a little back and forth because usually he says something silly and I have to correct him. But apparently 25 cents in a jar now.
Quarter in the jar. I'll just sit over here and
we're like 25, so Yeah, 50 cents. Go ahead. You were finishing.
No, I'm bored.
All right, fine. So, wild poppy events, weddings. You said you're not going to say the area, but that kind of defeats the purpose.
No. The area where the wedding planners are.
Okay.
Because, I mean, what do you define as the Western Slope? I mean, I realize that you can all... There is a kind of a general direction, but it's like for where I'm at generally is Grand Junction to Durango. Mm-hmm. I would love to get into Moab, kind of going over to Crested Butte. However, with the bridge out, that's out for this year. Mm-hmm. So where I'm personally at is really kind of along the Western Slope.
Right. Okay. Is the West Slope the best slope?
Have you been to Colorado Springs?
I mean,
yeah. So
we could give it to Kansas, and Kansas wouldn't get any better. Denver can go too, in my opinion.
You know what I'd really like is
we're on fire lately with guests.
East of Denver, we give that to Kansas, and we take a big slice of Utah. We take the 5 national parks.
Take Moab.
Yeah, we'll have like 9 national parks.
Oh, there you go.
That's not a bad plan.
If we're redrawing lines, let's get rid of Denver.
Oh,
all right.
Controversial. West of the 105.
Yeah.
Pretty much, in my personal opinion, you can take Aspen over and whoop.
So here's this, and
just make it a different stadium. You don't have to give it to Kansas.
So I think this is here we go. Now, the reason I think our guest believes this kind of stuff is because she's a local.
Very.
A local.
Like the most local person. How long has your family been in this area?
My family was on the registry in Gunnison in the 1800s.
That local.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, there are different opinions.
So you guys didn't travel far?
No.
You're not an out of your backyard type of people.
On my grandfather's side, they've been here literally for forever. So a lot of us have left at some point in time, but came back because, the Chipeta Curse will get you every time.
There you go.
That's a thing. People say that's a thing. I don't know why that's a thing. The Chipeta Curse. Do you want to share it?
Where it came from?
Yeah, or I mean, just what it is.
Yeah. So the Chipeta Curse, pretty much it means that if you were born here, unless you take dirt, like literally take dirt with you when you leave, you will come back here. There's just something about this area that will just pull you back.
Is that Rob, Mr. Non-Superstitious? How do you feel about the Chipeta? Rob does not believe in UFOs, Sasquatches.
No. They're not the same thing. Can I just... Are you easily offended?
No.
Oh, okay. The Chipeta Curse is horse shit.
You can say that
because you weren't born here.
Yeah.
And you don't know.
Your opinion, unfortunately, is unvalid.
Doesn't matter.
I love it. No, it's great. It's good. I mean, I love that your family history goes back to like the 1800s. That's like 200 years ago.
Well, the other thing about that is once you found paradise, right?
Yeah.
I guess you don't leave.
Well, this is the thing. We're here.
Yeah.
We're both from other places.
You're right.
I'm obviously a lot more exotic.
I don't know how exotic Wales is.
Oh. How dare you?
It's not Mauritius.
This is not how this goes.
I
preface this by saying that this podcast is not about the guest. It never is. It never has been. It never will be. I don't appreciate this.
I think you could. I'm more than happy to relinquish my seat. You can come take it, and I will just be the monkey pushing the buttons.
Oh, we'd get more listeners and viewers, I think.
Well, we definitely
Yeah.
Fine.
I mean, it's on video. So let's talk a little bit more about. So here's the thing. It's different. Yeah. People do not need to see that. So you're the first guest we've had who's actually a local. You will almost certainly, for a while at least, be the most local person. But have you said that, the curse and all that stuff, have you left and you've lived in other places? So, well, give us a little rundown of where you've been and why you came back, perhaps.
So, graduation...
Apart from the curse, obviously.
COVID is what really brought me back. Graduation happened.
Different kind of curse.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But 2 months later, I moved out right after graduation to go live with my high school boyfriend in Durango. I was going to go to school there. That lasted 4 months, as it does. After that, moved back, met a guy, moved to Phoenix, moved back for that guy, moved back to Phoenix, came back here for said guy, went to Junction, went to Uray, broke up with said guy, moved to North Carolina with my sister, for no other reason than we wanted to live by the beach and in the South. And fun fact, Wilmington, North Carolina is neither the beach nor the South.
Yeah.
I would say it is where people from the whole northeast transplant if they don't want to live in. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So pretty much it's just the north in the south.
Right.
Not cool. Anyways, came back.
That sounds like it would make the south better.
No. You obviously don't understand the dynamics there, but
listen, I love the South.
I know there was a war. I know who won that war.
I feel like we should drop you in Wilmington with a microphone and just let you walk around.
Fine.
We'll see how long that lasts.
I've already told you this accent is a superpower.
It is. It's not. Do you know that Rob's from New Jersey? He's not from Wales.
It's all a farce.
It is. It's
a farce.
It's nobody will call him out on it. So I've been repeatedly doing it.
Oh, good.
He's in the relocation program.
Yeah.
Not for being like a mobster or anything.
No. I killed a man.
No, it was you were the victim of whatever crime happened.
Right. Exactly.
Get him out of here.
All right, and that's it for today, folks. Let's wrap this up.
This is going to be one of those hour shows. Now I'm enjoying.
You're just
this.
sitting there like, it's been 15 minutes.
I know. This was my idea too.
It was your idea.
What have I done?
Yeah, I obviously invited a great guest to the show.
I mean, I thought so.
Rob likes the power dynamic until it flips on him, and then he gets really nervous.
We'll flip it back. it back. Let's go back to
Wilmington.
Yes. Okay. After Wilmington, moved back to Colorado, moved down to Dallas to go to school there because I had this wild notion I wanted to be a weatherman. That's what I want to do. I was telling you on the way down that I just love natural phenomenons. I really wanted to be in the weather. Turns out the school I was going to offered no meteorology programs at all. So I was going to have to go through school to graduate with a journalism degree and then go to school for a meteorology degree. Okay. At the time I was bartending and I was talking to a guy and he's like, oh, what do you do? Blah, blah, blah. And so I was telling him and I was like, oh, this is my plan. He goes, you ever going to make that money back?
Uh-oh.
Oh
yeah.
Shit.
What about that?
So I started looking into what I was going to pay. So I had this like huge crisis.
Epiphany.
No, it was a crisis. I'm like, all the things
I tried to help.
I did try it. Yeah. Okay.
All the things I love to do are outdoors, and Texas is fucking miserable. It is hot and it is flat and
full of Texans.
Which, let me tell you, I have never had a culture shock like when I went to Texas. But I digress. Anyways, so yeah, I was like, do I want to do that or do I want to go home and live in the mountains? And then COVID hit and I was living in an interior studio apartment that was 400 square feet and Denton locked down.
Oh, you were in Denton, Texas. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, so it was just north of Dallas. And I was like, nah.
Were you going to UNT?
I was.
Okay. Mm-hmm. My wife went to UNT.
That's
cool story.
Well, okay. If you don't know anything about the mean green, so just sit over there.
You people in your college sports, honestly.
I'm just saying,
especially Texas.
Yeah,
I know. Gross.
Yeah.
But a 400 square foot studio apartment in Denton,
with
Texas,
one window that looked onto an interior patio. So I was like,
done.
Out.
Yeah, this isn't going to work for me.
The thing is, you knew. Obviously, you're from here. You knew this area, and I can imagine looking out of that window, going, "What am I doing?" Like, I could be looking at the San Juans.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And obviously you didn't have your little vial of Chipeta dirt.
I did not.
So, and that was it.
So she was destined to come back.
You up sticks and came back to Colorado?
Yep. So came back and then I got to live life like a normal person instead of living through COVID. So it was a win on my part.
I'm telling you, the best place I could have ever hoped to be during COVID was here.
Oh, yeah.
Go out hiking and doing the same things you normally do. Mm-hmm. You don't see people anyway, for the most part. We have so much public land. It was amazing.
I'm probably going to get in trouble for, I'll say it. I don't care. It really didn't feel like, we felt the impact of COVID other than, there were some people in our circle that we lost, unfortunately. And
places were closed but
for the most part, it really did not feel like, certainly the way it was back in Dallas.
A positive turn from this. Mm-hmm. This may get some slack, but a positive turn is, pickup became a real thing. And as a mom, let me tell you how nice it is to not have to go into a grocery store anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Ever. So I can thank COVID for that. Mm-hmm.
I think every mom that I know loves the not going to the grocery store, like picking up at the pickup line. I can't tell you how many
Do you
times
have
that's
kids?
come up. I do have a daughter.
Okay.
And she's 18. She'll be 19. And she's also engaged to her high school sweetheart.
Well, I wish them the absolute best luck. My parents are high school sweethearts, and they're celebrating 30 years in a couple of weeks.
His parents are high school
for some
sweethearts.
people.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
My great grandparents celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary a couple of years ago. So I come from a long lineage of people who.
But you broke that.
Here's a fun fact for you.
This is the third fun fact I'm keeping.
Oh, I
tabs.
told you.
And I'm gonna bring this up in a minute. We'll explain why. But yeah, third fun fact, please.
So third fun fact: every single female in my lineage, and I'm not saying this sarcastically, every single female in my lineage has been married by 22, and I am 29 and so single. So it's just funny that with my family, I mean, it's like everybody got married, settled down, had kids, and I am the black sheep of the family.
Yeah, you're like breaking all kinds of records in a bad way, maybe. Just you're doing things differently.
I'm doing things differently.
That's fair. So she got a little bit animated there, and I'll explain to you. We had a conversation earlier, and I said it might be fun because we a previous guest or a future guest. I don't know. We might change the order of episodes. Was Cousin Curtis. He brought his guitar. He sang a song.
Yeah.
Very talented.
It was amazing.
Not a hidden talent because he's a professional musician.
Yes.
But thought it might be fun to speak to future and past guests, depending on when you listen to this, and ask them, do you have a special talent? Can you play the kazoo or whatever? Apparently, you are.
Do you have a kazoo with you, Brett?
No, it's not a kazoo. Absolutely full of
hidden talents.
I would say useless trivia, but it's not
It's
necessarily
absolutely useless trivia.
And here's the thing: now you have to present a couple of just random useless pieces of trivia.
All right,
Okay.
Pick your favorite.
So, have you ever heard of the 10th Mountain Division?
Of course,
Of World War II. Okay. So they were located in Leadville. That's where they did their training, which unshockingly also has the longest standing brothel in Colorado that didn't close until 1954.
So do you know the 10th Mountain?
I mean, I'm assuming they're a mountain division that trained in the mountains for
You are
mountain
good.
Mountain warfare.
Look at you go.
I mean, come on.
What gave it away? The word mountain?
I mean, hey.
They were an elite mountain group of World War II.
Okay.
So they weren't part of, they were very specifically trained because they could ski and they could mountain climb.
So like guerrilla warfare for the mountains.
Exactly.
type of
And
thing.
they went apparently to the Italian Dolomite Mountains where World War II was. But as far as I understand it, a lot of those guys came back after World War II, and they are the ones who essentially founded a lot of the ski resorts in Colorado.
Well, and not only that, they had some of the highest losses of any division in World War II because of just the nature of what they did. But they were also the highest educated group too, because most of them are recruited from ski teams in Ivy League schools.
And I don't know if you ever met Ranger Mike. Mike Marinkovich.
Mike
Doesn't live here anymore. Ranger Mike, I'm looking at you, buddy. You got to come back. Ranger Mike was a ranger at the Black Canyon. Lived here for a long time. A lot of people know him. He was in the 10th Mountain Division.
No way.
And they still exist. It's the division that was based, I believe they're in New York State somewhere. But they still exist. Anyway, but the fact...
I just forgot my timed stables. I'm pretty sure. Because that's now in there and something it had to make room for something else.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fairly obvious by now that you have somewhat of a limited capacity upstairs.
I mean,
but the fact was
not the brightest tool in the shed.
No.
Yeah.
No. The fact that you told everybody was the largest brothel.
No, not the largest.
Okay.
The oldest.
The
longest standing.
The most recently shut down.
Oh.
Because I think it was like 1954.
Are you making a correlation then between the 10th Mountain Division and prostitution?
All I will tell you is that if you read and I don't remember her name, but the owner, and I think her name was maybe May, but as I told him from the start, everything I say is either half truth or a quarter lie, so take it with a grain of salt. But she'd actually closed it down she'd closed it down on multiple occasions, but the city actually asked her to stay open because they were having some issues that could have been solved with a brothel.
So you're saying, wait, hold on.
Pent up aggression.
We were going to go there.
I was going to say, help me out here.
Yeah. Is that what we're talking about? Okay.
All right. So perfect segue, perfect opportunity. 970-316-3162. Most of you are going to be watching this online anyway. What was the name of the owner for the brothel?
That's a little trivia question.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Brought to you as part of the halftime show.
We're calling it the halftime show. It's not halftime, but who cares?
We're damn near halfway.
We don't know when we're done.
Are you just going to repeat everything that I say?
Carry on.
He's annoying. I mean, really.
Sometimes get on with it.
Okay, 970-316-3162. We want to know, what was the name of the lady that operated the brothel in Leadville?
The madam.
The madam of the night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brought
to you by...
Well, with a bit of luck, if Kevin and Chelsea replied to my email,
right. Pomona Brewing.
Okay. Or cut and we'll edit, brought to you by another brewery or whoever else wants to write that check. So here's the thing. I mean, that was obviously very common back in the days. Minors, brothels were very important around here.
You're saying that with a smirk on your face.
Yeah, because this is leading to something.
Yeah, go ahead. Get to it.
No, I'm just saying. Does anybody have an anecdote about brothels or?
Oh my gosh! Shockingly, I do. Wowee!
Wow, who'd have thought? It's almost like we planned this one.
It's almost like this is the whole reason I'm on the show.
Okay.
It kind of is. This was a conversation that we had one night after a few beers. At Pomona Brewing. And I said, that's a good story. You should come and tell that into a microphone.
Okay. Well, and here's your opportunity.
Okay. So I actually have, and my dad will deny this if he hears this, I actually have a great whatever degree grandmother that was a prostitute in Telluride.
I think we can find a better term for prostitute though, right?
Soil dove.
Soil dove.
Yes.
Never heard it myself.
Soiled dove?
Soil dove.
Okay.
Hang on a minute.
So I said it correctly.
No, soil.
No, soiled.
Oh, shit.
Like the dove has been...
Soiled.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
SOILED.
I'm sorry, I don't...
Oh, I think we both have a quarter at this point.
Come on.
Wait, do we owe him a quarter? Because we had to educate him on something?
Yes.
He's breaking even now.
No, because he was helping out unnecessarily.
Yeah.
No, but a soil dove was a term that was pretty well known for prostitutes at the time, because that way it wasn't, that whore. But yeah, so I had a great grandmother that was. And the reason why my father and I have some contention about this is we've actually done a lot of research on this. Why? I don't know. It was kind of a joke. Whenever I was like 16, I think one of us bought each other a book that was like a history thing. Come to find out it was a prostitution book, like just on, I think it was in Silverton or something like that, which started a tradition that anytime we're in an old town, we buy each other a book on the local, soiled doves. So we've learned a lot about this, like how to check for syphilis. I mean, it's amazing the things you can learn from these books.
Okay.
Oh, my life as a prostitute.
Rob looks concerned all of a sudden.
If anybody wants the
You better quickly remedy, because that sounds like you wrote that book. When you say my life as a prostitute and then we interrupt and don't let you finish.
My life as a prostitute, if you want to find out the owner of the last standing brothel in Leadville, My Life as a Prostitute, I'm fairly certain his name. Either that or My Life as a Whore. One of the two. It was relatively crass. Anyway.
I don't even know where to go from there.
No. We haven't finished the story yet.
Yeah.
But the reason why we have some contention about this is because historically, a lot of women would come from the East, they would move to the West, and they'd become prostitutes. But they didn't want to soil their family name, so they would change their name so that they went by something else, which, is kind of how the stripper names came out later on, blah, blah, blah. But because they were one of 10 women, 20 women in a camp of hundreds of men, a lot of times these men would marry the women that came from these brothels. So, but at that point in time, they would change their name. So my great-grandmother, we can't find any history on her past being in Telluride.
Okay.
At like 20 years old.
Okay.
So.
Married, changed
her name, went off and had a perfectly normal life. Yeah. Which is where my dad says, no, that's definitely not the case. And I personally love having some, wild history in our background. So I think it adds color and character.
But Dad is like, do not call Nana a soiled dove.
If he heard that I was telling the story, really been out of shape.
But
That is not my fault. It's really not my fault. Rob told her to come in and tell the story.
Yes, at gunpoint, she was forced to come in and tell the story.
I tell the story any chance I get.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not like he's going to be like.
I have to admit, if I had an interesting background, I would flaunt it. Yeah, I would say it.
I mean, why not?
I wouldn't care.
No.
You know what they say? Well-behaved women rarely make history.
That's a famous quote. I don't know who quoted it though.
It's a good one.
It's Mead. I'm gonna butcher it.
Let's wait and let's see where this goes. Go on.
Here's another trivia thing for you.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah, what's Dennis thinking? 970, whatever the number is.
Really? You can't remember it. It's like the easiest number ever.
Don't text in.
Okay.
Not for that.
I really want you guys, 970-316-3162. Just send me, just text the crap out of that number.
Yeah, do it.
With all kinds of, here's one.
It's not going to my phone. I don't care.
Here's a favorite nickname for every Welsh person that you know. Can I say it? If you can't, look it up and just text me. Text me as many as you can find, honestly, and I'll be happy to share them with Rob.
Yeah, and don't do any of the stereotypical bullshit about sheep. It's all hat.
It's not that old, apparently.
Okay, so here's the thing. So you know that's not necessarily controversial. It's interesting, whatever. Mm-hmm. But that's it, right? There's nobody else in your family that has anything.
Well, how does that tie into Wild Poppy and becoming a wedding planner?
So it doesn't at all. Actually, I kind of preface this conversation if we start talking about prostitution and bootlegging, which my family's also in. And by the way, you gotta work on your segues. Whew. Anyways, I digress.
We'll edit this out.
Wait, my segues or his segues?
No, his segues.
Okay, thank you.
The very I gotta give it to you. It's a very leading question. It's gonna lead right into the answer you're asking for. What he's asking for is I did have family that was also bootleggers.
Yeah.
In Delta during Prohibition.
Sweet.
So, and this is what I've been told, is that before they started all the irrigation through the area, there actually used to be belly of a horse high grass all the way through Olathe and Delta before they started mitigating the water. Yes.
It's such a belly of a horse high grass.
What else did you measure with?
It's I'm 5'11". If I was to say it's up to my elbows, sitting down you can't tell. Right. What if I'm 5'2"?
But belly of a horse high. Everybody
pretty much gets it.
Everybody but you.
Here.
They don't have. Listen, they haven't had horses in Jersey for who knows how long. So
there are plenty. It's the Garden State, my friend. There are plenty of horses in New Jersey. Do carry on.
So, but as I've been told, and as I said, quarter truth and half lie. So. Take it as you will. But when they would ride the horses, they would put the saddles, underneath the saddles, they'd have ways to carry a bunch of the liquor and you couldn't see it through the grass. But another classic trick that they did is they'd stop up the canals, dig holes, bury the liquor under there, and then let the canals go. Because, who's going to be searching through that?
Right.
So, yeah, that was a pretty easy way to.
It's pretty clever. That's pre NASCAR.
So
type thing, right? Because that's also the bootleggers.
Psilocybin.
NASCAR started because of bootleggers, right?
Edibles.
Yeah, edibles.
Psilocybin. Good work again.
Edibles.
I'm proud of you, honestly.
Yeah. Alcohol.
Yeah, booze, all the good stuff.
All of which you do not partake in. No, you partake in booze. No, maybe not. We'll go with no recreational. No. But I'm saying we've covered all the bases.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
All the illegal shit. It's not illegal anymore.
Are you a mushroom guy or psilocybin?
That's a really funny question because it's not funny, actually. Nobody's laughing. My wife wants me to try it. My daughter wants me to try it. Are people trying to tell me something?
Yeah, they definitely are.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Loosen up, let go.
Could be that.
It might be. I don't know.
Try an edible. Maybe you'll try and grab your dog from under a sofa.
Listen, edibles are my buddies, my little gummy buddies. They're about that big. Yeah, they work great.
Yeah, they do.
Okay,
they're great.
You just took us totally sidetracked off the issue. I think it's because your beer's empty.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. No, there was a thought there.
I think that should be $1 from your side.
$1?
Yeah,
it was a quarter.
No. The quarter's for you correcting everybody else. The $1 was when I don't finish my thought. You wanted $1 for every time I did it.
Feeling left out.
Oh, sorry. That's correct.
Yeah, we keep doing that.
Brett, I have a question. So you're a mom.
Mm-hmm.
as we ask everybody that comes into WKRP a question about Montrose.
Okay.
So as a mom and a mom of a young daughter, can I say her name?
Oh, yeah.
Ivory James. So very pretty name.
Thank you.
And also it's Ivory James.
Yes. 2 first names.
Okay. There's a lot of people in Colorado that won't get that. That is definitely. Now, how did that happen? Because that's a kind of a Southern thing to do.
Well, I'm very Southern. My family's from Kentucky.
Okay.
Like if you go back on my mom's dad's mom's side, all from Kentucky.
Is this where Hazard came in?
Yeah, but we're not going to go down that
Okay,
path.
we won't go down that road.
That's a different podcast or a different episode.
And that I don't have enough information
no,
to tell the story
but it's
appropriately.
a Southern thing, right?
Okay.
Well,
Ivory
it
James.
is. So I really love the name James, but I didn't want to name my daughter James, which I know coming from a Brette, that's like why. But I just want to make it a little more.
Not a Brit like
Brette.
like
Brette.
like the guy over here.
Yes.
Brett.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So I don't know, came up with Ivory James, which a lot of people, I mean, even my great grandmother who is from Kentucky, whenever I told her her name, she goes, "Oh, that's uncommon," which is the nicest thing she could have said about it. But a lot of people, I'm like, well, you understand Mary Jo.
Right.
So why is Ivory James so
hard?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of times I have to say, no, she's got a middle name too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
So
no,
the-
that's the Southern thing. I mean,
It
even
is.
we get that.
Yeah.
But it's the more stereotypical Mary Beth, Mary Lou.
yeah.
Those two, it's very common,
Yeah.
even amongst non-Americans. We know that from movies and TV.
Yeah.
The names are Ivory James, a little bit different, but it's the two name thing is not, something that people are not familiar with.
Yeah. It's just, I think, uncommon, which granted my whole family has relatively uncommon names. So, I mean, Brette for a girl is, I've literally met one other woman that has my name, but it's never even been my own spelling. So,
So
You're unique.
back to the question.
yes.
Yeah.
As a mom here in Montrose, give it a grade.
Yeah. What do what are the options for, people with kids? What do you do? How is it here in that respect?
What do you
And
mean? Because
also,
that can go
is it,
so many different ways.
I guess since you already said it, I can say it. You're a single mom.
Yes.
Okay. So a single mom in Montrose, if you had to give it a grade, like you're here, you obviously, you came back, you enjoy Montrose for some of the aspects.
Because of the curse.
All right. Give it 2 grades, and then you can justify the 2 grades. If you're thinking that if it's not just like clear, like, hey,
So
it's
are
a
you
B.
saying like things to do, or like this is the place I would actively choose to raise my child?
Both.
I guess both.
So
Like, what advice would you give to somebody who is coming here in your position? Like, is it good? Is it a good place to raise a kid? Is it a good place? Are there things to do? Are there,
first off, I think it depends on what you like to do. If you're into the outdoors, there's a lot of stuff to do. The Children's Museum is about to open up. So, we're excited about that. The rec center, love the rec center. The hot springs, I take my daughter there frequently. So as far as like things to do goes, I really enjoy it. We're not a small town anymore. I mean, we're just not. We used to be. But we still kind of have some of the small town aspects. So I like that portion of it, to have a kid here. I would not raise her in a big city. Like nowhere that I've lived before, I would choose to live there with her. I mean, this could take it so political. As far as the school system goes,
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to be going in public school, but I don't think I'd go to public school anywhere. I was homeschooled, so to give you a little bit of, you were already saying on this side of the state, we already think differently. So,
But that's a cool thing that we do have about Montrose is there are a lot of options outside of just the public school system.
Yep, there's a new charter school that they're trying to open up. There's a lot of homeschool co-ops. So there's a lot of different options. So I really like that aspect of it. The Colorado, or is it the Outer Range program? I really like that option because my child just wants to be outside all of the time.
There's Peak Academy, which is a kind of like a hybrid of homeschool and public school.
Yeah. I know there's Maslow. My daughter's going to start preschool this year, and we're going to go to Sunshine Patch, which is actually where I went in, I think, 2000. So what?
Nothing.
He,
Dennis is an old man. That's all.
that's what he was going
And
for.
when
he was
somebody
going
says
for the
that-
cheap laugh.
Yeah.
I had a feeling that's where you're going with that.
Yeah. No, when Dennis went to school, they were still segregated, weren't they?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
This is. You know what? We need a sponsor for the show. And Just for Men, please notice how good of a job Rob does at his beard every day to hide those grays. Just for Men, just for you. Get rid of the gray, and no one knew. All right, there we go.
Did you? I hope you didn't make that up.
I mean, just off the spot.
Is that their stupid slogan?
That was just me ad-libbing.
How bad would I have to be to do that? This is the thing. I don't give a shit. How bad would I have to be to do that and still have it look like this?
I mean, I feel like that's more of a comment on you than anything else. I mean, you just admitted you use it, so
I don't care enough about that kind of stuff.
That backfired. His old man joke backfired on him. It's just what happened.
So, but he
was trying to say,
you're going to take your daughter to the same preschool that you went to.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
It's like
but we still haven't gotten to the grade. Are you afraid to give it a grade?
No.
Okay. Don't be afraid.
So
it's only going to go on Montrose message board, and
okay.
You know what happens there.
If I.
Oh, it's like the Wild
Ding.
West.
Yeah. Oh man, I wish I had a
little button to go
for that.
Ding.
Ding.
He's got buttons. Yeah.
If you grew up here, and I think this is kind of anywhere you grow up, but if you grew up here, you grew up thinking this town sucks. There's nothing to do. I hate this town. I'm gonna get out of here. And then all of a sudden you have kids and you come back and you're like, it's not that bad of a place. Yeah. All of a sudden you're like, there's things to do. It's a smaller town. We aren't just overrun with people and nonsense. So as far as a grade goes, I would probably give it a B. The only thing that I would like better is if it was a small town. But our small town has really mediocre food options, which is my biggest problem because coming from Dallas and big cities, I mean, even Uray has better food than what we have, which I love Uray, so I'm biased.
They do have great food in Uray.
They've got good food.
Yeah.
Ridgeway has good food. Telluride has good food.
Yeah.
It's changing.
So
There's stuff coming.
exactly. So that's kind of where it's like it's such a like hit and miss because on one hand, all of the growth is really nice and to see all these different options. It's like the Colorado outdoors coming in is really cool. Like so, there's a lot of things that I love about the fact that we're growing.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I just like living in a small town. I mean, there's just something about, growing up whenever I was little in this town. I think the year I graduated, Montrose had 19,000 people in it. And the year I graduated, I mean, I already said that. Moving back a little bit, my dad's had a family business in town since 1949. We used to be able to go into town and we could not go anywhere without seeing somebody that we knew. Yep. So, I mean, it took so much longer to go everywhere because you knew everybody. So that's changed. I mean, it's amazing how you can go into town now and not see anybody that you know. And
right.
Like, who are all these people? So
it's great. Isn't it great?
Well, let me finish.
I don't want to see people. Yeah, go on.
So on one hand, it's really frustrating that the traffic sucks so bad and that it's like you don't recognize. I know. I lived in freaking Dallas, Wilmington, Arizona. I mean, it's like the traffic sucks everywhere.
That's a joke.
But here all of a sudden it's like, what is this? But then the other night when we're sitting at Pomona, he was sitting next to me from England. There's a guy across from us from Mexico, another guy from France, and then a gal sitting next to me from Brazil. Which for me, sitting in Montrose, that was such a mind-boggling moment for me to be like, people globally want to come here. Yeah. So it's like, to answer the question on grade, I can't give it one because there's so many things I really like about the growth. There's a lot of things I don't like about it.
Okay, so this happened recently online that somebody came into one of the groups and said, "Hey, I'm looking to relocate to Montrose."
I saw that one.
Did you see this?
I did, yeah.
And I couldn't tell whether or not to be really disappointed or to laugh. I couldn't tell if people were trying to be funny or if they were just being really, really ugly. But there were a significant portion of responses that said, "Don't come.
It sucks. Don't come here."
Okay, but
those guys.
Also, as somebody who grew up here,
This is where I was hoping you were going to go.
Yeah.
All right. We were friends the whole episode. Let's not be friends real fast.
Oh shit, you're from California, aren't you?
No, I'm from Texas. I moved. No,
Okay.
Excuse me.
No,
I am not from Texas.
Florida.
I moved here from Texas. I am from Florida.
Okay. Oof. After living in Texas, I don't really have a problem with Texans. I wish I could say this across the board to the whole nation. Just because you can see mountains and it's a road doesn't mean it's a mountain road. Learn how to push the gas. Like, All you have to do is stay in your lane and not hit the car in front of you. It's not that hard.
Right.
I digress.
Bad drivers coming from other states. You're upset about that.
We're all upset about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not.
You're not from here.
That's very, very true.
Especially if you live in Uray, everybody's like, I wish the Texans and New Mexicans could learn how to drive.
Okay. I lived in Telluride for several years. And I guess two things. Number one, we'll get rid of all of the listeners that we have accumulated so far.
All 10 of you, goodbye.
Right. All 10 of you. See you
11,
later.
I believe.
There is no traffic in Montrose. I don't care how long you sit in the light on Townsend looking at the mountains, for God's sake. You do not have traffic.
We don't have traffic compared to LA. But compared to Montrose a decade ago, compared to Montrose 15 years ago,
you don't have traffic compared to Denver.
We have traffic.
You don't have traffic compared to Grand Junction.
No, we don't.
Okay, but
big picture, no.
Flip it and say, well, what else was missing 10 years ago? I mean, there was
still don't have.
No, there was a lot less stuff here 10
There really
years ago.
was. Well, we only had 2 movie theaters at that point in time. Now we only have 1.
Is it worth the traffic that you claim is, such an inconvenience? For the other stuff that we have, Colorado Outdoors, the rec center, the incredible rec center that we have, is it worth, are the pros and cons, weigh them both up, are they equal?
You want a real answer?
Always.
As far as the rec center goes, that's still, and I don't exactly know when that mark hit, but when they put that in, and again, don't take this to the bank, but whenever they put that in, they pretty much said like, oh, if we can't pay for this, like whatever doesn't get covered, we're going to push this onto the property owners. So a lot of people are still not technically thrilled about that because
about the rec center and the taxes that they pay. Okay.
So, well, that was loud. So it kind of depends. I mean, how do you look at it? Are you
Rec center's awesome.
Oh, I love the rec center.
It's such a tiny thing too. Like whatever is pushed onto the property, it's such a tiny
Unless you don't believe you should pay for things that you didn't want in the first place. I mean, really, how political do you want to go here?
Democracy sucks, doesn't it?
So, all I'm saying...
I'm so disappointed.
What?
Come on. She's been here a long time.
I just had this conversation with my in-laws and their friends on Memorial Day. So...
Hang on, can I just ask, are you okay with paying? Do you like the rec center and the rec district enough? Are you happy for the return on investment for what you pay versus
I'm not a property owner.
All right, so no problem then.
So, that's actually, not how it should work.
That's a perfect
segue. You get a vote.
That's a perfect segue. So you take advantage of something that the rest of us pay for.
Yes.
And here's here's my point. You're welcome, and I'm glad that you do.
Yes.
I'm so glad that you do.
Which, don't get me wrong, whenever this went in, I was a property owner at the time. But people voted against it, and they still pushed it. That's the problem.
I'll tell you what.
It did pass a vote.
I will take that argument.
They didn't.
Hold on. I will take that argument when there's a shorter freaking line at Starbucks and there's a shorter freaking line at Chick-fil-A. When those two lines are much shorter and the locations that they're in, then I will take that people are really upset about how their tax dollars increased for the rec center. Because over the course of the year and the amount that it increased, I guarantee you threw away more in your coffee cup from Starbucks and more in your French fry cup from Chick-fil-A.
I don't support Starbucks.
Okay, well,
I don't go to Chick-fil-A.
But you
don't have a Chick-fil-A here either. You're talking about the 2 in Junction.
But I'm going to now be on the list for Hazard County because you also don't pay taxes. So thank you very much for
that's where I personally am of the belief that if you don't have skin in the game, you don't get a vote. Because of course, why would I not vote for something to go in that I don't have to have a repercussion for?
So I told the old people that I was speaking with who don't pay taxes, rightfully so, because they've put their time in, they've worked, and now their income results in a situation where they don't pay into the taxes and federal income taxes. They do pay property taxes, and so I can't wait to see all the comments.
Bring it on.
But the idea is, and I told them there was an energy program because everybody apparently doesn't like the energy Build Back Better programs. But my in-laws' friends were talking about they took advantage of a program because they were under a certain income that they got a replacement water heater, that they got replacement bulbs, that they got all these things. And I said, you know what? I'm super glad that happened. And I'm so happy that whatever tax dollars that I paid went to that program because I believe you've earned it over the time period. And so, but when I ask them about the rec center, they get a little fired up about the rec center because they do pay property taxes and they don't use the rec center.
You know what it is?
They were splitting their household because one of them was like, well, yeah, but we could use it and we get it for free. And there's a lot of great programs. We just don't take advantage of it. And so,
you know what it is? It's the similar principle to this idea.
This went to not funny really quickly.
I know. We went from prostitutes to politics.
I know. Have you heard this phrase? A society grows great when old men plant trees, the shade of which they will never sit in.
Yeah.
That is what that is.
Yeah.
You don't. If you pay property tax in the rec districts, think about all the young kids that now have access to a facility like that. It's kind of just selfish sometimes. Anyway, the official position of WKRP Montrose is we love the rec district.
Yes, we do.
Well,
we do love
wrong.
the rec district.
I love the rec district too.
Yeah.
I just personally am of a laissez-faire belief. So if you're going to enforce something, you need to make sure that the people that have to have the repercussions for it had a valid vote. And the people that maybe don't.
Okay. So you don't like the fact that people that didn't pay property taxes got to vote on it?
Okay, yeah. And then the fact that they built it on swamplands, that was a little concerning too.
I think it's okay for now.
I think it's a much better option than swamplands. Did you just go environmental on me? All right.
And less for the environmental sake and more what's this going to do to the building in the future? Because you want to talk about thinking short term.
I tell you what.
Oh, it's fine now.
She's an enigma wrapped in a riddle, this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know.
Oh, wait. That's a quote. She's an enigma wrapped in a riddle.
You haven't been drinking either.
In a mystery or something like that. No, I read this just the other day.
Well, come on. You should know. You're the trivia queen.
Okay, but I'm also reading 7 different books right now.
Show off.
Not a show off. I just don't remember which book it was. No, I think that was a Winston Churchill, wasn't it? He said something about they're an enigma wrapped in a mystery surrounded by a riddle.
Is that right?
No idea.
Says the guy who named his cat after
I didn't actually name my cat.
Oh, okay. That's another story for another day.
Yes, it is.
Hey, everybody. Brett, it was great to have you. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we'll have you back. Wild Poppy events. Anything you want to say about the company before you leave? I mean, how can people get to you?
I am on Instagram.
Okay.
At wildpoppy.events.
Okay.
Or on my business page, which is just wildpoppyllc.com.
Wow.
But if you don't like the rec center, or you do love the rec center and I just offended you, very sorry.
No.
Yeah. Don't DM her.
No, if you're easily offended, don't listen to this.
If you're easily offended, you probably don't want to work with me in the first place.
No, if you're easily offended, we don't want you listening to this.
So tune out right now.
Yeah.
Or 20 minutes ago.
Or 20 minutes ago.
Don't listen to us again.
WKRP in Montrose. That's another episode. We'll see you soon. Don't forget 970-316-3162. Or watch, I'll throw it to Rob again and he won't get it right.
I don't know it.
He doesn't know it. Okay. So there is another way to register for our giveaways and our trivia questions. If you want to know how, text 970-316-3162. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you later.